Good evening, everyone. For those of you just joining us, I'm Linsey Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We begin with that mass shooting in Midtown Manhattan. It happened inside 345 Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets. You can see someone with a rifle walking outside the building on Park Avenue that contains the NFL headquarters and the consulting company Blackstone. Here's what we know at this hour. At least 3 people are dead. The shooter also died by suicide. Take a look at this photo of people barricaded inside the building. Witnesses tell us about the harrowing moments of being inside. We could see people walking outside of the building with their hands up. Shootings of this nature in Manhattan are exceedingly rare. Let's go right to our Will Reeve, who's on the scene. Will, give us a sense of what you're learning about what's happening.
Well, Lindsay, you covered a lot of it there, but what I can see here on the ground is still a massive, massive emergency response many hours after this incident occurred. It's just behind us here, that big building in the distance there, up a few blocks from us on Park Avenue in one of the most heavily trafficked and well-known parts of New York City. We spoke of those blue chip tenants in that building. This is a major thoroughfare, this area, and just off camera here in the middle of the street, Park Avenue goes 2 ways up here. In the middle of the street, there's a divider. There are people standing taking photos of all of these lights and sirens and ambulances. There are helicopters overhead, dozens, hundreds perhaps of emergency vehicles here, significantly more police on the ground here walking around, keeping the area secured. Where we are is about 3 blocks south of the actual incident, just a few blocks north of Grand Central Terminal. And if you go down that way, aside from the helicopters, you wouldn't really know what had happened. It might be just another summer night in New York, but around here it is a wall of light and sound, all because that shooter entered the building, and now 3 are dead, plus the shooter. You saw those images of the office workers in that building barricading themselves in, not knowing what was happening to them or to anyone else within that building, where the shooter was, what was going to happen. And they barricaded themselves in and awaited further instruction, and slowly police have been going through the building, trying to clear floors one by one. If you look right now, it looks just like another New York night. If you didn't see the sirens and all those things, there's not much activity coming, at least from the windows from our vantage point in that building where the incident occurred. But rest assured, police and other emergency personnel are there combing every floor, making sure that it is in fact the case that the shooter who was neutralized, who killed himself on the 33rd floor, was alone, and that there's nothing else in that building. There are people here walking around, coming just to gawk at the spectacle of it all. But right now, we do not know the motive of the shooter. We just know that there are 3 dead, many more injured, and the shooter is dead, and they are working to clear the building and make sure that nothing else happens and that everyone else can go home safely, Lindsay.
And about 30 minutes ago, Will, we could see a number of people, mostly suited business attire, walking, it appeared, from the direction of that building. I understand you're 3 blocks away, so you may not be able to tell. As far as we know, the building is still under lockdown?
Yes, that's what we can tell, but they are, if people are to leave the building, and some have been able to leave the building, I believe it depends on which floor. Again, it was a very high floor that the shooter made his way up to, the 33rd floor, where he ultimately took his own life, and people were barricading themselves in on many floors. They were locked down throughout the building, but on lower floors, people were able to get out. We have not yet encountered in our position here anyone who has announced that they have come directly out of the building, but we have reported here that people were able to leave under a police escort, many having to leave with their hands up to show to police and other emergency personnel that they were not a threat and that they were merely bystanders in this unbelievable incident. To think in Midtown Manhattan, in the state of New York, with stringent gun laws, that this could happen. New York has been through a lot. It will continue to go through a lot as the biggest city in the country and a major city in the world, if not the most major city in the world. But to think a shooter would come to Midtown Manhattan and go into an office building that holds Blackstone, KPMG, big businesses, the NFL, and that this could happen, it's certainly shaken a lot of people here, and a lot of people are fascinated. It's a morbid situation that people are just standing here taking photos. 3 people dead, including the shooter so far, Lindsay.
3 people dead plus the shooter. Will Reeve, our thanks to you.